Hey guys, welcome back. This is bimzycodes, and in today's lesson we're going to be building the final version of our game. So let's go ahead and navigate to File and click Build Settings. What we can do here is see all of the scenes that have been added to our game for when we want to build it. We've only got the one scene, which is this sample scene. If you have other scenes in your game that you want to add, like other levels and stuff, you just want to open your scenes and add the open scene that you have. For us, that's not going to do anything since we've already got our current scene in this build settings. Next, we can take a look at the platform over here, and this is just what platform we're going to be targeting our final release for. Unity has support for a bunch of different platforms, but for us today, we're just going to be selecting PC, Mac, and Linux standalone. So over here on the right-hand side, we can take a look at this target platform, which for me, I'm going to be building to Windows, since that's the computer that I have. Now you can select a Mac or Linux version here if you're on that operating system. Now another important flag that we can use when building our game is this development build. Now we can use this to create prototypes of our game to sort of release and test. But for us today, we're just going to be doing a release build, so we want to keep this unchecked. Next, we want to navigate to the player settings. So in this window, we can start defining all of the information that the game will be built against. So it's got information like company name, which I'm going to fill out now. So I'm going to call this one bimzycodes. You can sort of put your own company here or like your own little brand name. I'm going to change the product name to Grocery Catcher because that's the name of our game. And now we can track the version number of our game, which is important if we're going to plan to do multiple releases. But for our game, we just want to leave this one at version 1.0. And there's also other stuff we can edit, which I'm just going to leave blank for now. Stuff like default icon, default cursor. This stuff doesn't really matter for now, just to get our game out. We can also change, like if we're targeting iOS or Android, there's a bunch of settings and stuff in here, which we're just going to leave. So we're going to close out this project settings window and jump back into our build settings. From here, everything should be set up for us. So we want to click this build and run. Now what I like to do is create a bin folder, and that is just used to store all of my builds that I have. So let's create that now, bin, and I'm going to create a Windows, and let's just make this the beta of our game, so we'll select it there. And we'll just have to run through this build process. So once we finish the build of our game, we should be able to navigate here to the Grocery Catcher project files, and we can enter the bin, Windows, and this is where we selected our output for the build to go. So here you'll notice we've got an application file. If we run this, we'll launch our game. Now you'll notice we can play this one. It's got decent quality, it looks pretty good, we've got the audio playing in the background, and this is essentially the final version of our game. Now if you remember back to one of our previous tutorials, we've actually implemented the close functionality to being the escape key. So if you want to hit that one now to test that it actually works, let's give that a go. And as you can see, the game is closed properly and everything's working fine. One important thing to note is we have to keep this application file with the rest of our game files, because you won't be able to run the game properly and it'll crash if it doesn't have its dependencies in its same directory. So if we want to start cloning this game out, we can call this, I don't know, Grocery Catcher V1 version 1.0, which is what it was, and then we can start passing this game along to our friends. Maybe we want to, send this one to a zip, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is the final video in this tutorial series, and I just wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who's followed the videos up to this point. If you've enjoyed this series so far, I'd love it if you could give my channel a subscribe, and then that'll keep you up to date on any new content I release. If you have any ideas for the next series I can make, or just want a tutorial on a specific thing in Unity, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in the next series.